A sudden development is now breaking in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Reports have just reached our desk. Authorities in Phoenix have officially identified the woman discovered lifeless near a canal off 28th Street in Oak. In the matter of Nancy Guthrie, there is a persistent myth that a cellular phone, even when powered down, continues to send signals to nearby towers. That is factually incorrect. Turning to the search for Nancy Guthrie, we go directly to our Crime Stories investigative reporter. A new element has just emerged in the Nancy Guthrie investigation, a detail so significant it's forcing both law enforcement and the public to once again question everything they thought they knew. In the early hours of this morning, authorities in Phoenix, Arizona were dispatched to investigate a report of a woman found unconscious beside the Grand Canal Trail. Upon arrival, first responders determined the woman had no signs of life, and she was pronounced dead at the location. And as news of the discovery began to circulate, a single question echoed across online forums. Could the victim be Nancy Guthrie? Since the day the 84-year-old woman disappeared, her case has captivated the nation, centered on a profound mystery. Where did she go? And who holds the key to her vanishing? Countless tips have flooded into the task force. Federal agents, local law enforcement, and forensic analysts have dedicated weeks to sifting through a mountain of evidence, surveillance footage, and digital records. But for all the manpower and resources poured into this massive search, a single, cold fact has not changed. Nancy Guthrie remains missing. Now, with the discovery of a woman's body in Phoenix, that deep uncertainty has violently resurfaced, becoming the focal point of the entire narrative. This is the information we have at this moment. Officials in Maricopa County have confirmed that emergency crews were summoned to the Grand Canal Trail following calls about an adult female found lying inert near the water's edge. By the time officers secured the scene, the woman was beyond medical help. She was declared deceased, and a death investigation was launched immediately. As of this broadcast, authorities are withholding the identity of the deceased. According to investigators, the medical examiner's office is now tasked with determining her identity and her exact cause of death. And it is that crucial missing detail that has reignited the national conversation surrounding the Nancy Guthrie case. Because when a woman vanishes under suspicious circumstances, and weeks later, an unidentified body surfaces in the same state, it is only human to wonder if these two separate events are, in fact, tragically intertwined. However, the geography of this discovery presents a variable that investigators cannot afford to overlook. Nancy Guthrie vanished from her residence in the Catalina foothills area, near Tucson. The canal where the body was located lies within Phoenix, a distance of roughly 120 miles. At first glance, that considerable distance might suggest the two incidents are unrelated. But in the context of this case, the distance itself raises far more questions than it answers. According to sources close to the family, Nancy's mobility was severely compromised. For her, even covering a short distance on foot was a significant challenge. This implies that if the woman found in Phoenix is connected to this case, there exists practically no scenario in which Nancy could have traveled that distance under her own power. Someone else would have been responsible for her movement, a possibility that transforms the entire scope of the investigation. What's telling is that Phoenix was already a critical point of focus for federal investigators much earlier in this case. At one point, the FBI relocated a portion of its operational command from Tucson to the Phoenix area. At the time, this was seen by many as a simple matter of logistical convenience, but experts in law enforcement offered a more strategic interpretation. Phoenix is the undisputed hub of Arizona's transportation infrastructure. Critical interstate highways cut directly through the city. Major air traffic routes all converge on its international airport. Any individual trying to move quickly across the state would almost certainly pass through Phoenix. By repositioning their resources there, federal agents were strategically placing themselves to monitor the state's most vital arteries of travel. Now, weeks later, a body has been found inside that very city. At this stage, investigators are making no public statements linking the two events. In fact, officials have been exceptionally cautious, warning against premature speculation. But a development of this nature compels investigators to re-examine every theory. It is also critical to recall that this case has been plagued by moments where speculation and false information have spread like wildfire online. Earlier in the search, a video began circulating that alleged a body had been discovered in a pond near Sabino Canyon, a short drive from Nancy Guthrie's own neighborhood. The footage made startling claims of visible footprints, evidence of a struggle, and other fabricated details. In a matter of hours, a vast online audience was convinced the case had been solved, but when law enforcement was confronted with the video directly, they immediately debunked the story, confirming that the claims being propagated online were completely false. The situation cast a stark light on a persistent obstacle in high-profile investigations. As public fascination intensifies, speculation can outpace the methodical pace of factual discovery. The digital ether becomes saturated with viral clips, elaborate theories, and unfounded assumptions, burying the truth under layers of noise. But the grim finding in Phoenix stands apart from the swirling rumors of the past. This development was initiated by an official response from law enforcement. Officers were physically present. Boots were on the ground at the scene. A formal death investigation has been launched, and the medical examiner's office now bears the solemn responsibility of discovering this woman's name, a process that resists any hurried timeline. When trying to put a name to human remains found under such circumstances, investigators must follow a meticulous and unyielding protocol. The process begins at the scene with a painstaking examination and documentation of every detail before the remains are carefully transferred to the coroner's facility for forensic analysis. It is from that point forward that the silent work of identification begins, a methodical search through fingerprint databases, dental archives, and the unique signature of DNA. Each forensic path offers a potential answer to the central question of who this person was. A breakthrough could be immediate, or it could be a grueling wait that stretches for days. In the matter of Nancy Guthrie, authorities hold a comprehensive file of identifying information, a detailed biological and medical blueprint that could either confirm a link or definitively rule one out. Should the remains from Phoenix prove to be a different, unknown individual, the same forensic methods would be employed as investigators begin the arduous task of giving that person back their name. But a confirmed connection to this case would instantly and irrevocably alter its entire landscape. Another theory that has been quietly circulating among analysts is the chilling prospect that Nancy Guthrie's disappearance was not the work of a single person. Early intelligence from the investigation painted a portrait of a suspect captured on camera, carrying a rucksack and exhibiting a disquieting level of preparedness. To some professional observers, this suggested the subject may have possessed communications gear or had an accomplice positioned nearby, pointing toward a coordinated effort rather than the impulsive act of a lone offender. While these are merely uncorroborated theories, they reveal the mindset of investigators who must entertain every conceivable scenario when deconstructing an event of this nature. The involvement of multiple individuals would make the logistics of transporting a person over a great distance exponentially more plausible. All the while, the family of Nancy Guthrie remains suspended in an agonizing state of not knowing. Each new headline, particularly one involving the discovery of human remains anywhere in the state of Arizona, forces them to relive the terror of the same unanswered question that haunts their every waking moment. For the loved ones of the missing, this period of waiting is often the most profound torture of the entire ordeal. An eternity of hours or days can crawl by between a discovery and a definitive identification, a terrible space where hope for closure coexists with the dread of what that closure might mean. As it stands, officials have confirmed no link whatsoever between the Phoenix Canal discovery and the ongoing case of Nancy Guthrie. Investigators have been clear that the identity of the woman recovered near the Grand Canal Trail is not yet known to the public, as the methodical work of the medical examiner is still very much in progress. And so, for the time being, the central enigma of this case remains precisely where it has been from the start. Nancy Guthrie is gone, and the search for what happened to her remains very much active. A substantial reward for crucial information sits untouched, as investigators hold to the belief that one person out there holds the key that could finally unlock this devastating mystery. Until the woman found in Phoenix is given a name, the question on everyone's mind will hang, unanswered, in the air. Could this finally be the discovery that exposes the truth? Or is it merely one more dark turn in a case that continues to elude all answers? The speculation continues to mount. I'm interested to hear your theories in the comments below. And for those who wish to receive updates the instant authorities release new findings, ensure you have subscribed and activated your notifications, because the final chapter in this story has yet to be written. The disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is more than a headline. It is a profound testament to the fragile threads that bind our communities and the chilling weight of the unknown. Her story serves as a haunting reminder that safety is a collective responsibility, not just a personal one. When an 4-year-old woman vanishes from the sanctuary of her home, it leaves a void that can only be filled by the vigilance, empathy, and integrity of those around her. This case teaches us the critical importance of digital discernment. In an era where rumors spread faster than facts, we must remember that behind every viral theory is a family in agony. Speculation may feel like a game for the internet, but for the loved ones left behind, it is a profound torture that buries the truth under layers of noise. The most valuable lesson here is awareness. Look out for your neighbors, especially the vulnerable whose mobility is compromised. One observant eye, one shared piece of truth, or one moment of genuine care can be the key that unlocks a mystery. Let us not wait for a tragedy to realize that our silence is a barrier and our action is a lifeline. Nancy's story is a call to be more present, more truthful, and more protective of one another.